Hello everybody, this is the Fantasy Father. I'm here to bring you my Week 16 sits and starts. This is championship week, so if you're watching these videos, you've made it to the championship game. Congratulations, one more game to go and you're a big winner. So let's see who you should sit this week. Coming in first, I have Drew Brees going against Jacksonville. This is a dream matchup if Drew Brees is healthy, but he's not. He's definitely banged up this week. The Saints have nothing to play for, so why would they risk putting Drew Brees out there, have him, get injured even more? I don't think they play him this week. If they do, it's going to be a lot of running plays to Hightower. I'm not a big fan of Brees this week. This would be a dream matchup if Drew Brees was 100% because this should be a shootout. Jacksonville's going to put up a lot of points on the Saints, so I think Drew Brees would be in for a big game if he was healthy, but he's not. So look elsewhere. Second, I have Ted Ginn Jr. going against Atlanta. I know this is not going to be a very popular pick, but it's just my gut feeling that Ted Ginn's going to put up a bad game when it matters the most. I know he's been on fire lately. He had a lot of targets last week. He did drop another 43-yard pass. His hands are an issue. If it wasn't for his hands, Ted Ginn would be a top 5 receiver. He just drops a lot of balls. I'm afraid, he could have a costly drop here or there this week. And it could make you, he could have 5 or 6 points instead of the 10 to 15 like you think, and it could cost you. He could even have 1 or 2 points. He's a little banged up as well. I do not like Ted Ginn Jr. Bench him if you can. If you want to start him, by all means, go ahead. I just have a gut feeling he's not going to do much this week. Third, I have Lamar Miller going against Indianapolis. Lamar Miller let you down when it mattered the most. 2 fantasy points last week in the semifinals of the playoffs. The guy I was playing last week had Lamar Miller. Had an awful game. How can you, if you're still in the playoffs with Lamar Miller on your team, you're very fortunate. So you can't start him this week. You can't make back-to-back mistakes with Miller. Get him out of your lineup. Next, I have Danny Amendola going against the New York Jets. Amendola is banged up again, and the Patriots are not going to risk him, getting injured. They really don't have much to play for. They've already got a first-round bye in the playoffs, so they want to get everybody healthy. They don't care about your fantasy football team. They want Amendola and Edelman healthy going into the playoffs. So I would not start Amendola here. If he does play, he's going to be at a limited capacity. He's not going to be returning punts or anything like that. He may get a couple looks, but I would look elsewhere if you can. Last but not least, Frank Gore going against Miami. There's just not much value here. Frank Gore, week to week, he's been declining this year. He's an older back. You can tell that this year is kind of wearing on him. You're probably not starting Frank Gore anyways if you got to this point, but if you are, I would look to get him out of your lineup. Not a great matchup, not a big fan of Frank Gore this week. So as we continue on, let's look at my Week 16 starts. These are players that can win you that fantasy football trophy that you've been fighting for 16 weeks. First of all, I have Blake Bortles going against New Orleans, $8,200 on FanDuel, $6,500 on DraftKings. Real big on him in both of these formats as well. Dream matchup. If you got Blake Bortles this week, this is an absolute dream matchup. Week 16 against the Saints. The Saints are like the worst defense in football. Blake Bortles, very pass-happy offense in Jacksonville. Yeldon's banged up. They got Denard Robinson running the ball. I think Blake Bortles has a huge game this week. Absolutely dream matchup. If you got him, thank your lucky stars. Second, I have Tim Hightower going against Jacksonville. Like I said earlier with Drew Brees, even if he does play, I don't think he's going to do a whole lot. If he doesn't play, or if he does play, Tim Hightower's in for a load of carries. I think Hightower has another 25-30 carries. He had a pretty good game last week. He had a touchdown called back for an offensive penalty. Hightower, great play this week. Great value in FanDuel and DraftKings as well. Third, I have Charcandrick West going against Cleveland. Phenomenal matchup here with Charcandrick. Look to get him in your lineup this week. I really like him against Cleveland. Cleveland doesn't seem to be able to stop anyone. Charcandrick West had a huge game last week. I think he had 15 fantasy points. Look for 15 to 20 points again this week. Great matchup, great game for Charcandrick. Fourth, I have John Brown going against Green Bay. Last week he only had 10 points, but it seems like he should have had about 30. He dropped a couple of wide open touchdown passes, just hit him in the hands and dropped it. Had a little bit of the Ted Ginn issues, but he did bounce back in the third quarter, securing a touchdown catch to salvage his fantasy football day with around 10 points. I really like John Brown this week. He stretches the field. He's so fast. He's always a threat to score. I really like John Brown this week. Get him in your lineups. Last but not least, Denard Robinson going against New Orleans. Like I said, this is an absolutely dream matchup for you if you have Blake Bortles. And also now if you have Denard Robinson, Look for Denard Robertson to get a fair amount of carries. Look for some goal line work as well. There's going to be plenty of opportunities for the Jacksonville Jaguars to score. I really like Denard Robertson this week and anyone on the Jacksonville Jaguars team, to be honest. So thanks for watching this special Week 16 edition. Subscribe if you like these videos. Give me a thumbs up. Leave me some feedback in the comment section. You can also follow me on Twitter @FantasyTeach.